Basically, they did a survey and they were talking about the most bankable action, like movie stars in Hollywood these days. And it seems like most of these are action stars.
The top 20 U.S. actors that respondents named that they'd be most interested in seeing a film in theaters. They were all over the age of 40, except for Chris Hemsworth, who turns 40 later this year.
39, and he's got a movie coming out he's got Extraction 2 coming out next month. So yeah, and what I thought was funny about this was that when I think about it, it kind of makes more sense than you realize if you actually put some thought into it. Older actors, older people going to watch the movies, that makes sense to me. Whereas you're not seeing as many influencers of an extended age, right? So the younger generation is dominating newer platforms and newer mediums, and the mediums that are being watched by older people at the theaters are being dominated by people closer to their age ranges.
I suppose that's true. I guess it's kind of sad that young people don't want to watch films in theaters anymore, and that's like the thing that only older people are doing now. Like I think about like the history of it, it's like I'm sure young people like to see moving pictures.
Well, I mean, also it's a completely different, like there was an article recently, I don't think it was Scorsese, but somebody was talking about how it pains them when they see that kids talk about the primary way they watch movies is on their phone. He's like, it's not.
I have done that.
Like, if you've ever been into like a Hollywood studio editing bay, they've got it on a full-size movie screen when they're editing these things, and it has to, in a certain way, break their heart to put in all this work to see you like.
Or I mean, not on Quibi.
Yeah,
but
like, and you're sitting there like this.
I watched Leon the Professional on my phone. I watched 13 Going on 30 on your phone. Like, I watched these movies on my phone. I don't know why, but I did it.
This is something that musicians have kind of been aware of for a long time, is the way that people listen to music. You're not getting high quality music.
No.
Like we'll record in HD with, super high-end gear, super high-end microphones, really paying a close attention to detail, make sure there's no noise, et cetera, and then people listen to MP3s in their car with the window half down, smoking a cigarette, talking to their friends.
Yeah.
That's how they listen to music.
And it's got to frustrate you.
Yeah, or they listen to them on iPods, which sound like absolute garbage. Yep. And it doesn't frustrate me. It's just that it's one of those things where it's like, you have to have it up to a certain standard for it to be professional, but you can actually get away with way lower because nobody ever listens to it in a context where that standard matters.
Well, now they just speed up and slow down songs and call it a new song.
You also know what to pay attention for when you're listening to the quality of a song, and most people don't. But anyway, I think one factor in this trend where movie stars are getting older and young people kind of are, like younger actors or actresses aren't really being welcomed into the fold of that like A-list class, is possibly that young people look younger today than they used to.
Yeah.
And are less believable in adult roles.
Tom Cruise looked young. When Tom Cruise was young, he looked young.
Tom Cruise.
Look up some pictures. I want proof of this. I don't believe Tom Cruise ever looked
he looks like young. But have you ever seen him before he got his teeth fixed?
Look up photos. Okay. I want proof.
Okay.
He looks like he's starting to get a little old or get some age on him, but he's 60. He's looked the same for 30 years. Yeah.
That's the
He looked like he was a teenager from when he was a teenager until he was 30.
An actor.
And then from 30 until now. For 30 years he's looked almost exactly the same.
He's want to be frozen in time like a couple times.
He's done it. He's got a I mean the picture that you on the insider link that you sent, I couldn't help but notice with the aviators and with that smile. I'm like, oh, that's kind of Joe Biden.
Is this from original Top Gun days or?
No, that's new. That's new. That's new. This is
new.
No, this photo on screen there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay,
I
don't have a.
I don't know if this is risky business age or what time period this was, but
risky business
when he looks young, he looks young, right? Like he's very young there. This says teen star, so I don't know if he was still a teenager at that point. This is the famous photo that everybody points to when they talk about young Tom Cruise.
Okay. Funny.
He's he's looked young for a long time, right? Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. But I think part of it's also like gravitas becomes a thing. When you're carrying a movie that costs that much money to make, you need to have a certain level of professional. You have to have a resume that says you can carry a movie of that size, right? And you're just not going to get that with younger actors who are starting out now on streaming. They're not making as many movies with younger actors. Those guys are going straight to streaming services to make their stuff.
I get what you mean by gravitas, but some of the older actors, I don't even think they got it. Like Brad Pitt, never believed it.
You weren't around
Will
during
Smith,
Fight
never
Club.
believed it.
You weren't around during Independence
But
Day.
that's the thing. Like these are movies from when they were in their 30s. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. But they still have.
That's the thing. Them being old has nothing to do with their gravitas. We're just not welcoming.
No, it does have something to do with
stars into the fold.
They built
that
up
upper echelon.
When somebody watches a Brad Pitt movie now, when I watch Bullet Train, I don't just think of Brad Pitt in Bullet Train. I think of Brad Pitt in Fight Club. I think of Brad Pitt in other movies. I think of Tom Cruise, not just in this, but I think of Tom Cruise in Collateral in 2004 and Mission Impossible in 1996. It goes to building up an image over a period of time. When you think of these actors, they become more than just the roles they play, especially if they don't pigeonhole themselves into a certain genre.
Who is building up a portfolio like that right now?
Right now,
I don't know. Are they?
Where the opportunity for them
like,
to do that, though? Because think about it. Like, there's not really there's not a lot of movies that are new stories.
Yeah, they're going to Marvel. They're
either new stories with new people.
Michael B. Jordan is building
super
up.
Chat from Noah Sanders that says, if you guys want to look into Nuka Zeus, I suggest the videos by Pay Money Wubby, top tier content. Phil has All That Remains thought about recording with older equipment like Daft Punk did in their last album and pressing it to vinyl.
I don't think that that's something that All That Remains is interested in doing, because we do not have no one in the band wants nostalgia. Like, we don't do nostalgia. We've never really been that kind of thing. So for us, we're not like, oh, we want to have an older sounding. We've always been a forward looking band that was looking to sound like a modern band. And I don't imagine us being like, oh, let's just go ahead and, do it on the old tape and blah, 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 especially with the people in the band. Like, Richardson's not going to do that. Richardson's going to put it on the grid. He wants everything to go through computers. No way. Yep. No.
Like, disappointing answer for him.
Sorry. Listen, Jason Richardson is like, no, that's not how we make modern metal today. Sorry.
So the old actors look younger than they are because of adrenochrome
and plastic surgery,
spirit cooking and plastic surgery, and the young actors kind of look younger than they're
because they haven't struggled yet.
They haven't gone to war.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of hormones in the water and in the milk. They probably were more likely formula fed than breastfed. It's like that. What was that? Like Ramblings of a Crouton or like Musings of a Crouton?
It's my favorite. It's my favorite account on Instagram.
You look like you were breastfed for at least 6 years.
Musings of a
We don't have that kind of
No.
stock in our nation anymore.
Yes.
So that's maybe why younger actors in their 30s or maybe late 20s aren't getting welcomed into those types of roles where they can build up the same portfolio and build up the image and the gravitas that all of these older actors have.
Everyone go listen to Musings of a Crouton. She is a comedic anarchist. She is amazing.
I just followed her.
She is amazing. She takes shots at literally everyone. Her imitations of alpha female podcasts are hilarious. It's great stuff. I think for a lot of the younger actors, it's also harder because back then there was less to choose from. So if you got one of those roles in a big budget movie, more eyes were on you naturally. Now there's 9,000 things to choose from. Like I said,
Yeah.
the closest thing I can think of to somebody who's legitimately building up a profile, and maybe I'm missing a bunch of them, maybe I'm just not thinking about it. Michael B. Jordan has built up a resume of movies that are more than just his role as Killmonger in Marvel, right?
Yeah.
He's done a lot of other stuff, and I think he is somebody, when I think of him, I think of gravitas, and I think of class on screen in a lot of ways. So I think somebody like him, I think Jonathan Majors could have done that if he didn't,
No longer.
not likely going to happen.
I
now.
asked whether Glenn Powell was getting positioned as the next
Tom
Tom
Cruise.
Cruise because of being in Top Gun Maverick.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know if he would be who I would choose. I can't think of who I would choose otherwise, though. They are all older. Like when I'm thinking of all these movies that we've went and saw, and it was as almost all older actors, right?
Yeah.
Like I can't think of, I mean, maybe you could have said that about Adam Driver at one point. He might be more the art nerds, big budget.
He's still, what is he doing? I don't know.
You know, also, I realized not only is he a vet, but when we talked about Jake McLaughlin on the on Culture War the other day, I didn't realize he was a vet and is served for quite a period of time in Iraq. Yeah, so he was like, so when they talk about him being a conservative and like believable in the role of like a military person, he actually was, which is maybe why he got casted so frequently in military and law enforcement roles early on. But he's an actor, unfortunately he does mostly TV, but when I think of somebody that's believable in the roles he does, I love his work. But those types of actors just aren't going to get the play because they're not seen as movie stars, because there is still, whether people like it or not, there is still a bit of a divide between what we consider now a streaming star, used to be a television star, and what you think of as inherently a movie star.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I do think, Mary, that if you had been, if you've been alive when most of these actors were, or at least older, when most of these actors were making their big budget movies, it might be easier to see them as like the sum of all their work, rather than just the outcome of their work.
I guess.
Like Will Smith, I get because he's cucked himself so hard.
Good movies are not getting made anymore, so we don't have good actors.
Good movies are not getting made because we don't have good people, or we don't have good stories being written.
No, we have them. They're just not being. The money's not being spent on them. Hollywood has endless amounts of scripts that have been written. They're just
They'd
not.
rather make a
Selecting
TV show
bad
about
scripts
Reality
then.
Winner.
Yes. Yeah, about Reality Winner, so we can hear her being like, "Oh my God, I speak like 3 languages." It's gonna be great.
Is that what it's going to be like?
I'm trying to picture Sydney Sweeney as any type of like NSA translator, and it's not hitting. It's not hitting to me, but that's just. Yep. All right. See that's what we need. We need the Andrew Tate movie, starring Christian Bale.
Starring Andrew Tate.
Christian Bale. We'll get Christian Bale to play Andrew Tate, and then
you have to shave his head.
Yes, he's got to shave his head to do that. So. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.